Hi, my name is Trevor Loper, and I'm interviewing Christopher Hill. Christopher, will you tell us a little bit about yourself?
Yes, I was born in Scotland and I lived for the first 40 years of my life in England, and in 1989 I moved over here to Mobile and Daphne.
What brought you to America?
Well, when I was in the Royal Navy, we made a port of call in Mobile, and while I was here I met my future wife. So once I'd left the Navy, I moved over here, retired from the Navy and moved over here to be with her.
You said you married your wife. How did you did you have to go through the process of becoming a citizen, and was it difficult?
Well, before I came over here, I was only travelling on a holiday visa. They call it a visa, which is basically a stamp in your passport. But when I left the Navy and decided to move over here full time, I had to convert that visa to what they call a green card, and that was an interesting experience. I had to go through all the process of background checks and interviews at the US Embassy in London, and during that time they cancelled my vacation visa that was in my passport and gave me a big envelope. So when I landed in the United States, I was pretty worried about what was going to happen, and we went through customs and passport control in New York, and my wife was led away in one area and I was led away into this office, and they asked for my envelope. They opened it in front of me, and inside was my green card with lots of other paperwork. And they handed me a green card. The customs excise people said, "Well, Mr. Hill, welcome to America."
I know that driving in England is different. Was it hard adjusting?
It took a few days. The worst part was when I was travelling backwards and forwards before I moved over here for good. And so I made the rule for myself that when I landed at each airport, no matter whether it was in England or the United States, that somebody else would drive for that first day, just so I could get my brain functioning on the right side or the left side of the road.
Was the food in England different from the southern food in Alabama?
Very much so. There was quite a few things that I'd never tasted before. Okra, turnip greens, and grits as well. In England you eat the turnip root and not the greens, so that was a bit of getting used to. But I love the food here, especially the Cajun food, and so I'm very used to it now. In fact, it's odd when I go back for vacations that I end up eating English food and thinking how weird this is.
When you first moved to Alabama, was it different? Did people make fun of you because of your accent?
They wouldn't actually make fun of me. My friends would make fun of me, but normally the worst part, and it made me very self-conscious, was when, say I was checking out from a supermarket or something like that, and then the girl behind the counter would hear me talk and say, "Oh, I love your accent, could you say something?" Well, you don't really know how to answer that question, so it made me self-conscious, and I tried to avoid speaking to them when I was checking out. I just say thank you and leave.
I know that some of the words in England are different from the words in America. How was it difficult to adjust to that?
Well, technically, because I was working with aircraft, there was a lot of differences in terminology that I had to get used to. Simple things like aluminum, we call aluminium. The word tyre is spelt with a Y in England and an I here. So there was a lot, and also we used the metric system in England. Just before I left, we converted to the metric system. When I came over here, now I had to rethink in feet and inches and pounds instead of meters, millimeters, and kilograms. So that took a bit of getting used to.
Is there anything else you'd like to tell us about how the culture from England to Alabama was different?
There was besides the language barrier, there was a lot of differences in what people would talk about and what they wouldn't talk about. For instance, in England, there's three things that you never ask somebody about. A, how much they earn. B, who they voted for. And C, which church do you go to? Well, it seems as though as soon as I landed here, the first thing I wanted to know was which church I went to. So that took a bit of getting used to.
Is there anything else you'd like to tell us about the differences?
It is different to adapt, coming and going. Besides travelling on the wrong side of the road, when you go over, you have to start, start rethinking lots of different things, just like crossing the road. Instead of looking left, you look right. Just things like that. And I know it causes a few accidents when you, if you don't switch gears over back to the old country.
And this is his story on how changing from England to Alabama. Thank you.